Alright, Dad, as promised, I was going to make you a burpee tutorial video, so here we go. A couple things to start off. Now, there's, of course, various types of burpees. You know, burpee to plate, burpee over bar, lateral over bar, burpee step-ups, burpee box jumps, burpee high touches. All of them will require a little bit of a tweak to this. We're not really going to talk about those. We're focusing on just chest to deck burpees, standard burpees. Sometimes there's even specific rules, like in the open. One year you had to do a 2-foot takeoff, so move both feet at once. Again, not going to cover that. Individual things will vary, so we're just going to focus on doing a standard burpee. There's a lot of objections in the fitness industry to doing a burpee, and a lot of them are both true but don't really matter. You know, the way I'm going to teach you, people will be like, well, a push-up develops your chest better than a burpee. True. You're not really getting a good squat in the burpee. True. You know, if you don't jump super high, you're not working on your explosiveness. Also true. But we train all of those kind of separately. For this point, the burpee, we're strictly looking at it for cardio and for doing it efficiently in WODs. So kind of silence some of that noise. You know, I do a lot of other pressing for my chest. I do plenty of squats. I do box jumps. So none of that's really important. And while they're valid objections, the context on why we do a burpee matters. Lastly, we're going to discuss the standards for the burpee. So again, various standards exist, but kind of what I'm looking for is chest to deck, so your chest will hit the ground. You will, at the top, hips extended. That's important. A lot of people, when they get tired, will kind of do a burpee like this, a frog burpee. I'll show you an example of that later. And hands kind of just need to get above your shoulders. That's a decent standard, because for the biomechanical perspective, we want your limbs above your heart, so that's a good way to kind of standardize that. So, you know, again, certain things want to have hands overhead, touch there, just above the head kind of is what we're going there. So, those are the 3 caveats with the burpee. Now let's get into it. Our goal is to do this as efficiently as possible, and we want to do them efficiently because if we do a lot of them, we want to save our breath, we want to save our energy, we want to be able to do them in WODs. So a couple things is, how can we minimize the effort in the way down? Well, a controlled fall using just enough arms to kind of stop you is key, because I want to go down and I just want to fall down. Now, I didn't totally let myself fall, but I didn't resist myself more than 25%. You know, that's the complaint about the burpee is, well, do I want to do a strict push-up? But look at how much time and effort that kind of took me. So, hands down, fall. From here, I'm going to kind of worm myself up like this. This again is reducing the effectiveness of the push-up, but I'm actually using 50% less energy. From here, I'm going to kick my butt up and I'm going to jump wide. Now this is key. I really want you to be able to see this. Maybe I'll point to this one. I don't know if that foot's cut off, but notice when I'm down here, my heels are on the ground. If I jump in narrow, I'm on my toes. This requires a lot more flexibility. It requires different sets of core tension. I'm being inefficient and not able to use the muscles in my posterior chain. It also, if we get the feet wide, will shorten us a little bit. So here I am, just a couple inches versus there, but that matters over the course of 50 burpees. That can be an extra couple burpee or 2. So, down. Flop, up, and then I just stand up, minimal jump. Kind of we want the feet off the ground, but we want to kind of minimize how much we jump up. If you put more effort into it, it's just going to make the burpee harder. So if I were going to chain these together, the last piece is after I jump up, I just bring my feet slightly in, because we want to move our feet as little as possible. So you can practice drills by like putting chalk marks or little X's on the floor with tape. If you think about it, if you take 2 extra steps per burpee over the course of 50 burpees, that's 100 steps. How long does it take you to do 100 steps, not to mention the effort? So I'm going to do 3 here really efficiently. So that is kind of what we want to look for there. That's my maximum efficiency on burpees. Now, as I get tired or towards the end of a burpee session, You may see me step more. That is inefficient. It's actually wasting a little bit more energy and time, but at a certain point your respiration has to catch up. You also might find some questionable performances by both myself and other people of like towards the end of a workout if I'm trying to do just the last 10 burpees. You know, there's kind of that frog thing there, trying to duck down. We want to keep them to a high standard, but to be efficient, we kind of skirt that line. And that's of course not how I would do all of my burpees. You know, I could do 20 burpees in a minute like that, but then I'd be gassed and need a full minute break. I'd be much better off just doing 14 burpees slow per minute. So that's my burpee tutorial. I'm going to email you a few other things. You know, what did I miss? Really thinking about the steps. Can you get this flexibility to get there as opposed to jumping in here? All that pressure's on your ankle and calves. And then stepping in takes time, takes a little bit of effort, and most people will take another couple extra steps that way. I step in on some of those other burpee variations, but again, those are different, so we can work on those at a later date. So let me know if you have questions.